It was an ordinary day, one of those uneventful Tuesdays that blend into the fabric of a monotonous week. I was working on a research project for a class assignment, something about cryptography and online security. The irony wouldn't hit me until later. I had spent hours digging through articles, PDFs, and academic papers, scanning, skimming, saving. My search queries were growing increasingly complex as I struggled to find the last piece of information to tie my work together. Frustrated, I typed in a random combination of words, something about deep web encryption layers, hoping to hit upon a goldmine of useful information. The Google results were, at first glance, typical. A few technical articles, some forums discussing advanced coding practices, and the usual Wikipedia links. But as I scrolled further down, I noticed something strange. A link with a title in a language I didn't recognize, maybe Cyrillic or something similar, stood out. The URL was even stranger, a string of random letters and numbers ending in .onion. I hesitated. My cursor hovered over the link, a creeping sense of dread tingling at the base of my spine. But curiosity got the better of me. After all, I thought, what harm could come from just one click? The page loaded slowly, as if the internet itself was resisting my decision. When it finally appeared, my screen filled with a dark, plain background, with only a single line of text in the center. Welcome. Beneath it, a message appeared. Enter your query. I didn't know what to expect, so I typed the first thing that came to mind. Cryptography. The response was immediate, and what I saw next made my stomach drop. The screen flashed, and suddenly, I was looking at a list of names, each with an accompanying set of details, addresses, phone numbers, social media accounts. My heart began to race as I recognized some of the names. A professor from my university, a local politician, even the name of a high school friend I hadn't spoken to in years. A chat box popped up on the bottom right of the screen. A user named Admin had sent a message. "You found us." Before I could react, my computer screen began flickering. The names on the list changed rapidly, morphing into something else. Photographs. The images were of people, but not just any people. These were gruesome, raw, and unfiltered pictures of people in distress, caught in terrifying situations. Some were bound and gagged. Others appeared to be unconscious, or worse. A cold sweat broke out on my forehead. My instincts screamed at me to close the browser, but my hands were paralyzed, frozen on the mouse. The chat box flashed again. "Do you want to know more?" I slammed my laptop shut, heart pounding out of my chest. The screen went dark, but the horror I just witnessed burned into my mind. For a moment, I just sat there in silence, trying to convince myself it was some kind of elaborate hoax, a sick joke. But the more I thought about it, the less convinced I became. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those images, those names, that message. "You found us." I decided that first thing in the morning, I'd go to the police. Maybe they could trace the site or do something about it. But when I woke up, things took a turn for the worse. My phone buzzed with notifications, texts, emails, even social media alerts, all with the same message. "You shouldn't have seen that." My hands trembled as I scrolled through the messages, realizing they were all sent from my own accounts. I checked my laptop, only to find that it wouldn't turn on. The battery was dead, or so I thought. Plugging it in, I tried again, but it was as if the laptop had been wiped clean. No files, no history, nothing. It was like it had never been used. I went to the police, but there was nothing they could do. They told me it was probably a phishing scam, that I should change my passwords and be more careful online. But this was different. I knew it, they knew it, but there was no proof, nothing tangible they could act on. Days passed, and the messages kept coming, more frequent and more threatening. "You shouldn't have looked," they said. "You should have stayed away." My social media accounts were hacked, and disturbing images were posted from them, the kind that could ruin lives, destroy reputations. My friends began to distance themselves, not understanding, and I couldn't explain without sounding insane. The last message I received was a video. It showed me, sitting at my desk, staring at the screen in horror, the exact moment I clicked that cursed link. The camera panned slowly, revealing a figure standing just behind me, a shadow in the darkness. Then the video cut to black, leaving only the sound of my own frantic breathing echoing through the speakers. I moved out of my apartment the next day, left the city, and never looked back. But the fear never left me. Every time I see a computer screen, every time I hear the ping of an incoming message, my heart skips a beat. I don't know who they are or what they want, but I know one thing for sure. I wasn't supposed to find them.